Today I watched a speech by Ted Kennedy. It is from the Chappaquiddick incident in 1969. The speech was on July 25th, 1969, but the incident was on July 18th. So the controversy was that there was an accident in which he was in a car with a woman, Mary Jo Chappaquiddick. They were on a bridge and then his car overturned into the water and he was able to escape and was safe, but the woman who was with him passed away. And the controversy comes in because he didn't report the incident until the following day, and his behavior was not consistent with somebody who wasn't guilty of some kind of crime. So he went on a news conference to give his side of the story and to sort of convince the American public that he wasn't guilty of anything, any kind of wrongdoing. I don't think he was successful in that because his explanations didn't really make any sense. He was careful to say that his explanation wouldn't make any sense and that he wasn't thinking clearly and that his actions were not defensible. And then he detailed his actions, and he was correct. They weren't defensible, and they didn't make any sense based on his version of what happened. So when he said that he was stricken with grief and that he was upset about the loss of a friend, it didn't come across very convincingly in the video coverage of it. I first listened to this as a recording. The recording was kind of crackly and old, and he has a really strange accent from Massachusetts. It's kind of strange, and so some words I couldn't really understand. So I went to YouTube and I looked up the actual video of it, the news coverage video, and I was able to listen to that, and that was a little bit better because I could more understand all the words he was saying. The nonverbal cues that he used during his speech were that he widened his eyes and he looked directly into the camera to show sincerity, to show his grief. I think he did some pretty long pauses at certain areas to indicate that he was at a loss for words. And I think that was really well acted, but it wasn't consistent with what he was saying. Somebody who was so upset about an incident that happened would clearly call the police and report it right away to try to get help. And his actions seemed more geared towards covering things up and trying to make sure that he wasn't seen as being guilty for what happened. So to me, it really didn't come across maybe the way he was intending it to. One of the other things that he did as a nonverbal cue is they pulled back and faced him directly face on when he was asking for the support of the American people and continued to be a senator for Massachusetts. So I think that was well timed. I think that he was going for sincerity there, but I don't think that he was able to achieve that in the news coverage that I saw. So the distraction that I experienced while I was watching the video was I got an upsetting phone call, and I had to turn it off and take my phone call and handle all of that, and then come back and restart the video. I can't take calls or do other things while I am listening to a lecture or watching a speech, or I'll miss things. So that's the distraction that I experienced. For me, what I can do while I'm watching a lecture or watching a presentation is take notes. It is easy for me to pull out a pen and paper and write down the main points of what I see. And make notes as far as questions I might have. That for me is not distracting at all. I'm able to do that and listen at the same time. However, if I try to answer a text message, or if somebody walks into the room and is asking me a question and I'm trying to listen to something and multitask, I just can't do that. I'm not good at focusing on more than one thing at a time. So for me, the key is not to do other things while I'm trying to listen to a lecture or to a video. I like to clear the room of any distractions, so I like to turn off the TV, turn off my phone, and just concentrate on what I'm doing in the moment so that I don't have those distractions coming between me and what I'm doing. And then I do like to take notes so that I will have exactly an idea of what my questions are. Once the lecture's over, I can ask those questions or research them online if I have other things that I need to know. So that's it for what I can do when I'm listening.